Let's unwrap a scene from the show Crashing.
It's the British Crashing. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's BBC Crashing.
Okay.
They're different.
They have nothing to do with each other at all.
Look here, the idea is that they're going to discuss a scene, but these knuckleheads chose a silent scene. If you want to see this silent scene, then you got to click the link in the description. Let me say it again. You got to click the link in the description because it's freaking silent. Discussing a silent scene for a podcast. Jeez Louise. It does remind me of a joke, though. Knock, knock. Who's there? John Cage. John Cage who? John Cage revolutionizing the very concept of a podcast by starting an episode off with a 4-minute, 33-second long silent scene. If you got that joke, leave a comment. Maybe one that says, Pretensy alert.
Pretensy alert.
If you got it, and you thought it was funny, call me. I got a ton of jokes about highly influential but wildly overrated 20th century American composers.
Since people can't see the scene, could you just very didactically describe 1, 2, 3, 4 what happens?
Sure. In this specific scene, Lulu, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, walks up and realizes that Kate is actually sitting in the window eating lunch, ostensibly on a business meeting. Kate immediately panics because she's not in a business meeting like she said she was. And so she just starts pretending that this random dude sitting next to her, who's obviously a random dude, is her business partner. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge just keeps reacting like, oh my God, you're in your meeting. And then Kate's like, yeah. And she turns to this guy who's just eaten a sandwich and like fake starts talking to him. And he's obviously like not engaged, not paying attention. And then his phone rings. He takes the call. And Kate continues to be like, oh, that was so rude. Like she kind of mimes to Lulu like, oh, it's so rude. And then like Phoebe Waller-Bridge responds in kind like, oh, that's so rude. Do you want me to come in there? Should I come in there? And she's like, no, don't come in. Please don't come in. And then Kate continues to try to talk to this man as he's like on the phone. And like, it just kind of, again, heightens where like Phoebe Waller-Bridge is like, should I come in? And like you described, Robbie, it's sort of like, no. And then as this is happening, Kate's still continuing to pretend it's a business meeting. A woman walks up and puts her arms around this random dude, which is bad enough. Kate continues to try to talk to him. And then the woman makes out with the man. And Kate's still like, oh, yeah, business meeting. And we see, she's pretending that it's just the rudest thing that's ever happened in this business meeting. But it's so clear that it's much funnier if you see it than that description.
So this was a perfect little scene to get us started on unwrapping single scenes as stories.
Who did you think they were? Who did you think they were, and what was
I thought that they were friends.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that they knew each other pretty well, which is why when the reveal happened, like, I thought because I have a sense of Crashing being about dating, like, I felt that, like, one character was telling another that they were on a date and then being caught not on the date and then trying to keep up the appearance of I'm still on this date.
Yeah, it's funny because it's not really about dating. So, because it's a very British thing. So it's like Crashing follows the lives of 6 20-somethings living together as property guardians, which is something I didn't know anything about. But they're property guardians in a disused hospital. So they're all living in a hospital. I found out about it a little bit after Fleabag came out because I found Fleabag and like it blew my mind season 1. And I was obsessed. And so then I just tried to see if Phoebe Waller-Bridge had done anything else. So I found it in like 2017. I loved it. It's not great. Crashing isn't great. Like what I like about it is you can see her progression.
Is she the main character in this?
She is.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
She is. It's definitely ensemble, much more than like Fleabag. But yes, she's sort of the. Do you want to know what happens now?
I do. That was actually the first question. I was like, what do I like? The scene is hilarious. Yeah. But what is the show about and what's leading up to the scene?
I have seen it. You have not. And Cole has not seen it.
I've seen 3 episodes.
There's like 4 episodes. Do you just give up?
Yeah, there was...
Correction, Cole hated it.
I found it to be broad.
Cole saw it. Didn't see all of it because it's broad, and I really enjoy it. It's not Fleabag. Nothing is, but I really enjoyed it.
It's basically just like, if the story is, I want to come inside, I'm trying to be friendly to this person, I want this person to go away. It's very funny. I love the action. One character is trying to convince another character of a certain reality and the lengths she goes to support that reality. And then I love the way it's shot to show that interplay without words. In a sense, it reminds me of like that Buster Keaton scene where it's the middle of a storm and he's running around and the top of the building falls over and he's standing right in the place where the window is. So it just falls all around him. And it reminds me of that a lot.
I think the thing I like about this so much is it's a perfect example of heightening.
What's heightening?
Heightening is, I think it's pretty much like it sounds. It's when you raise the stakes inside of a scene. Your protagonist or your hero or whoever is trying to accomplish something within the scene, and you heighten it by making it more, you put obstacles in the way of that person getting that thing. In this case,
I mean, I think the first one is she gets busted.
Yeah, she gets busted. Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, so then, the obstacle is like, how does she pretend she's in a meeting? And then, so she starts pretend talking.
Right,
and he's not responding. And then he gets a phone call.
Yeah. Right.
And then she keeps going.
And she keeps going.
And then, and like the idea of heightening is like, what's the hardest thing to overcome? Like, what's the funniest, hardest, most absurd thing that could happen? And then a girlfriend shows up.
Right. And starts making out with her.
And then starts making out with them. Yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of the meeting. Yeah.
And you still have to pretend, it's a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kissing thing is really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be funny enough just if it was, if you're like, oh, we've caught this woman in a lie and she's trying to talk to a man who's just eating a sandwich. But that like increasing stakes, that increasingly like absurd thing, and hers just having to stay committed.
Yeah.
Is really funny.
It's definitely like you're trying to sustain the unsustainable, or you're trying to find your way around a particular thing when everything in that situation is working against you, keeping that reality up.
One of my favorite examples of heightening is Key and Peele's "I Said Bitch," that like sketch. I don't know if we're cussing on this podcast, but
I don't know it at all.
It's like Key and Peele it's like Key and Peele, and there were two wives ostensibly, and they so the two husbands kind of go off to talk to each other, and they're trying to kind of like show off for each other. And so like acting like they're the tough husband. So they're like, I said, bitch, like that's what they're trying. But what happens is first they're like, I said, and then they look around
and they're around like, for,
bitch. Because like they don't mean it. Like they would get murdered, right? If like their wives heard them talking about it. So like the first one is just like, looks around the corner, and it just keeps heightening until they're like in a tree house, and they're still like, and I said, bitch, and they're like looking around, and then they're like on a space station.
Right.
And they're still afraid. And that I think is a great example of heightening. Is it just sort of what's the most absurd thing you could be? And it's like now we're in space and we're still like, I said, bitch. I think I don't know. So I think this does that in a smaller capsule. I think the thing I like about Crashing overall is I think there's some really funny physical comedy in it. There's some really fun visual comedy in it that I really love.
Yeah. And even in this scene, like there's a smaller ratcheting up where she's like, I'm going to come in. No, I'm going to come in. No, I'm going to come in. Don't you dare come in here. Like,
cut, I'll kill you.
Yeah. It's like that constant raising of like, don't do this thing that I'm asking you to, don't do this thing, or I'm still going to do this thing you're asking me not to do, or don't do this thing I'm asking you not to do. So.
Before you started talking, I was expecting to talk about this scene in terms of how to tell a story without dialogue, but that's not at all how you guys are coming from it.
Because it doesn't totally tell a story.
No. I mean, it's just like it's like a moment.
To me it did, but that's because I had all the context.
There is a beginning, a middle, and an end to the scene, which is structurally right. The last time we were talking, I was trying to come up with the name of this pyramid, and it's actually called Freytag's pyramid, where it's like exposition, inciting incident, rising action, climax, falling action, and denouement, and then the two lines at the beginning and the end are uneven. So the line at the end is a little bit higher because there's been change.
Love the heightening that it goes through, and I love that the character who's in the restaurant is named Kate, And I love that she just keeps committing, like she's so into this lie that she just is like, he's obviously like not talking to her and she just makes that like fake turn and like starts talking. I just like find that so funny. Like she looks like a stock photo. She looks like she's like a stock photo talking. So I love this scene. I don't know why it just has really stuck with me, but it's great physical comedy. And I think as a person who has seen the whole series and like knows these characters well, I also think it's a perfect representation of each character and where they are and what they're doing.
Okay.
So what has happened? It's only episode 2, and Lulu, which is Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character who's standing on the outside of the restaurant, she's come into town to visit her best guy friend, who is Kate's boyfriend, and Kate's the woman on side. Yeah,
okay.
inside. And boyfriend guy, whose name I'm blinking on right now, but boyfriend and Lulu definitely have like tension. There's like some sexual tension there, but they swear that they're just best friends. And Lulu's kind of a troublemaker and she's just sort of a mess. And she just shows up on a bus, no job, no place to live, and kind of invades their life. And then Kate is very uptight and hates Lulu kind of on the spot. And she's being a little gaslit because she's afraid that like the boyfriend and Lulu have something going on or that there's something there. And everybody's saying no, but she's not dumb. So, and so in all of this, another funny scene is that Lulu needs a job and Kate, the receptionist job at her work, is open. And like Kate does not want to give Lulu this job, but like through a series of kind of comic events, Lulu, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, ends up working at Kate's company. And so now Kate's like stuck with her at home and stuck with her at work. And then like Kate has a crush on a guy at work and like, Phoebe like hooks up with him, right? So she just can't escape this woman. And then basically Kate just is like, I have a lunch meeting and I absolutely can't do that thing you're asking me to do. And so she like jets off to be like, just leave me alone.
But she doesn't have one.
She doesn't have one. So she just goes to get lunch and she's sitting in the window and then Lulu, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, walks by and is like, oh, hey friend. And she's like, oh no, I'm supposed to be in a business meeting. And this is her pretending she's at this like very important, absolutely cannot cancel business meeting to this like woman who's living with her and working with her.
Right.
Which I think is really, really funny. And just the fact that like Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, like I don't totally know if Lulu knows Kate's lying.
Oh my God, I just remembered. You have to deliver this package over lunch.
Hello.
Hi!
Hey!
Hi. Did you deliver the package?
I thought you had a boring meeting.
I do.
But there is also this idea that Lulu's a little like,
flighty
clueless and flighty and out there. So maybe she isn't picking up on it, but she isn't, it's like she should have known, like, let me just like walk away from this poor woman and just like let her live in this lie that's obviously untrue.
Right.
But she's so flighty. It's like maybe she doesn't, she just keeps pushing or she's like, I'll come in. I'll help you out. Like she doesn't know that she doesn't totally get that Kate hates her.
Right. Okay. I was going to ask that.
She doesn't totally get that Kate hates her. So that's the context to it.
What does come across is like Kate is continually caught in a lie.
I think physical comedy is incredible when it can also tell the whole story. Like it would be fun if you could pick up all that context. And I think that's possible sometimes, but this doesn't, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's pretty short. It's like 30 seconds or something like that too. So
if anybody could, Phoebe Waller-Bridge could. Her writing could do it. This is just her in her early years.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is she a writer on the show?
Yeah, she wrote all of.
Oh, she wrote all of it. Okay.
I mean, she's a phenomenal writer, in my humble opinion. This was the first thing I think she wrote that she sold. She owned a playhouse like in Britain, and so she was doing a lot of like live plays and writing stuff and like learning in real time from the audiences, which is how she claims she like really got her chops writing, is like in real time putting like up these live theater plays every night. And then she did Fleabag as a solo show. And it won at Edinburgh, like best solo show. Got picked up by the BBC as a television show, so she developed it into a TV show. And she's sole writer on all of those things.
Right.
And then, as I understand it, BBC went back and was like, we'll take Crashing too. You're on a hot streak, we'll take both. So it was like this older thing that she had done, then got attention once Fleabag came up.
Okay.
And then she did season 2 of Fleabag, which we've talked about. Is like, I think season 1 it was like one of my favorite things I'd ever seen. I'd never seen anything like it. I loved it. I was a big mess at the time, so I was really identifying with her. A little less now, but still. And then season 2 came out and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, then she's written on like Indiana Jones, She's written on James Bond.
That's right.
She did Killing Eve. And I think she wrote the pilot and the first episode pilot, and I think that's like one of the tightest written things ever.
Right.
Since we've been talking all day, I can't help but think about this as a scene that I kind of really would like as a oneer.
Yeah, honestly. I would follow this for a lot longer.
Yeah.
How would that be a oneer?
I don't know, but
It'd be fun.
Yeah, depending on whose point of view you were shooting from, you would either start inside the cafe, or you would start with Phoebe Waller-Bridge's kind of coming upon the cafe and seeing in the.
Sure. Let's do it. Let's recreate it and shoot it as a oneer. Let's see how it changes the story.
I actually love that idea.
Me too. You saw Adolescence, right?
Yes.
So one of the things I thought was interesting about how they filmed that as a oneer is you would sort of follow random people. So it would be kind of like, we're sitting here talking. The question becomes, how do we get out of the podcasting room and move? And so then it would be like, someone would come in. So it would be like somebody would knock and be like, hey, you've got 5 minutes. And then they'd follow that random person until she ended up in new action.
Right.
So do you think like that's how you would, because you would still see it as a oneer, right? So it's like we're sitting with Kate, and then would you see it like the waitress would come up and we'd like follow the waitress to the door, and then we'd like follow a little kid outside until we ended up with Phoebe Waller-Bridge? I'm just wondering how you see yourself getting, how would that be a oneer?
I didn't see it like that, but that's huge thumbs up. Let's just do that.
What did you see?
I think I had imagined it where we're with the indoors person while they're getting their food or entering the restaurant, and we see that like just like relief on them that like they're finally away from the other person.
Yeah.
And we get the like first sip of coffee where it's like, yes, I can finally enjoy myself.
Right.
And I saw a close up of their eyes being like,
Right.
and then I'm gonna be the shitty person who's like, obviously whip pan from the eyes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Whip hand stitch.
Yes.
We're not gonna do that. We're gonna do a true oneer. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, fair enough. It's fun. Robbie, are you gonna play one of these people? Will you and Emily be the couple?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
We won't make you make out with just anybody.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
I know it's just acting, but still, we can only ask so much of you, Robbie.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Before Emily won't let us do this anymore.
We'll need you to cheat on your wife for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
And strip.